Let me tell you something that most people never realize until late in life, and that is your life keeps repeating the same lessons, not because life is cruel, but because you refuse to pause long enough for you to understand them. And until you do that, nothing can truly change. Why do most people avoid self reflection? The truth is, most people are busy. The question is, busy doing what? Busy scrolling social media, busy working, and busy distracting themselves, but rarely are people busy being honest with themselves. Self reflection scares people because it removes all the noise, no opinions, no excuses, and no one else to blame, just you and the truth. And the truth is, how can I even say it? The truth is never comfortable for a lot of people, but comfort has never changed anyone's life. But you have to be honest with yourself and look at yourself in the mirror. There is a moment that many of us have experienced, so you're not alone. Maybe picture this. Late at night, your phone facing down and your room is quiet, and all of a sudden, it hits you. That feeling of, I should be further by now in life. I know better, so why am I still here? That moment is not weakness. That is awareness knocking on your door. But most people panic when something like that happens. They grab their phone, turn on Netflix and start watching a movie, scroll social media as usual. Anything to avoid being with themselves and being honest. Because sitting with yourself forces you to ask some tough questions. Like, why do I keep choosing what hurts me? Why do I repeat the same patterns? Why do I say I want to change but avoid discomfort? Self-reflection begins when you stop running from those questions, those tough questions. Let me give you a real life example. Think about someone who keeps ending up in the same type of relationship. Just different name, same pain, same results. They say, I just have bad luck with people. But self-reflection says, why am I attracted to what feels familiar instead of what's healthy for me? Well, think about the person who hates their job every Monday, yet never updates their resume and try to find another job, never learns a new skill, and never takes risk in life. They say, well, life is unfair to me. But self-reflection will ask that person a question like this: what am I tolerating that's slowly draining me? Self-reflection doesn't shame you. It reveals you. You must take responsibility because there is so much power when you take responsibility. In fact, I'll go as far as to say that responsibility equals power. Here's the shift most people miss. The moment you stop blaming others, you stop being powerless. Responsibility is not punishment, it's freedom. Because everything is someone else's fault, then you're stuck waiting for them to change. But if you own your choices, you own your future. Here is what self-reflection sounds like. Self-reflection sounds like, I stayed too long in that relationship. I ignored the signs that I saw in the beginning. I chose comfort over growth, not to beat yourself up, but to take your power back. Honesty hurts, but briefly. Regret, on the other hand, hurts forever. That's why people avoid self-reflection. It forces them to admit, I knew and I still didn't act. But that admission also is a turning point because awareness changes your behavior. Once you see yourself clearly, you cannot unsee it. And that's when growth becomes inevitable. So how does self-reflection change things? A practical way of how self-reflection can change things for you is when you reflect consistently, not just a one-time thing. You stop reacting emotionally. You choose differently. And you catch patterns before they repeat. You know what? You even respect yourself more. So here's what I'll add to this. The strongest people are not perfect. They are self-aware. And this is what I want to leave you with. So tonight or tomorrow morning, or even during the next quiet moment when you have a chance, Ask yourself a very simple and honest question. What am I avoiding? What truth have I been running from? What version of myself deserves better? Look in the mirror, not to judge yourself, but to understand yourself better. Because the life you want starts with the honesty you have been avoiding. Thank you.